Hello, everybody. I'm Troy Hill, and you're listening to the Dr. Kaye Show on Radio 1240 WCEM AM. We're streaming at mtslive.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Today's guest is Mr. Jeff A. Faulkerson, and he's written the book called Real Men Raise Champions. Of course, Jeff, welcome to the program.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Now, Jeff, before we get to the book and what's in the book and what inspired you to write the book, I want to do a little background about Jeff A. Faulkerson. Who are you, Jeff?
Well, I'm Jeffrey A. Faulkerson. I'm pretty much I'm a social worker by training, and I've been spending probably the past 8 years as a stay-at-home parent with my son, and who's 11 now.
Right.
So as soon as he was born, I pretty much, my wife and I made the decision. One of us had to stay home.
Right.
And because I was a social worker, and social workers don't make a lot of money,
Oh, I know.
And my wife's always been the primary breadwinner. We made the decision for me to be the one to stay home with her son. So I've worked off and on, since my son's birth, since 2004. And I'm a graduate of the University of Tennessee. I have a master's degree in social work, management and community practice. And I hail from the great state of Tennessee. I'm from a little town called Kingsport, and that's where I got a lot of my upbringing was there. And I was raised by a single parent. My mom, she raised 3 kids by herself.
Wow.
3 kids by 3 different men. But, we all turned out good. My brother and I, all 3 of us graduated from high school. And my brother and I, we went off to college. I went off to the University of Tennessee, and my brother went off to the University of North Carolina on a football scholarship. And played a few years in the NFL as well.
Right. Now, I want to get back to the part where you are the stay-at-home dad. See, I just find this fascinating today that men are able to do this. I mean, because when my son was young, I only spent like a year at home raising the kid, and after a year, I became the breadwinner, and she stayed at home. But I can't tell you how much fun I had that first year raising my son. I think my wife got a little jealous too, by the way, because we had so much fun together. But let's touch on that just a bit about what it is like being the stay-at-home dad. What is it like?
Well, it's a big adjustment. It's because as a man, you are kind of hardwired to be the primary breadwinner.
Right.
And my wife, in our situation, is kind of different. She works for the federal government, making a 6-figure salary.
Right.
And as a social worker, I wasn't nowhere near that. So it was easy to make a decision because you just look at your finances and you make that determination of who's in the best position to stay home. So that's where we were. But in terms of the experience of just being home with your child, there's nothing greater than that.
Right.
Just being able to see your child go through so many changes. Here you are. I've been with him since he was an infant, and changing all those diapers, and seeing him go into the cabinets and bang on pans and things like that. And
I missed those years, buddy. I missed those years.
But it was great. It was great. But as he gets older, you start realizing he starts talking back to you. Not in a negative way, but just being able to have a conversation with you.
Right.
That right there, is just real. It just tells you that, okay, maybe I should go back to work. And I went back to work, with the YMCA, there, and when we lived in North Carolina. And I also worked, and when I lived in California, I worked for an organization called First Five San Bernardino. And those, I think as a father, as your child gets older, you want to get back into the workforce.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, the nature of my wife's job has had us moving into 4 states since our son has been born. So, I'm at a point now where I'm saying, okay, what can I do from the home that will allow me to, really serve the community and, just really make a difference.
Okay. And so now the book comes out. It's called Real Men Raise Champions.
The book's not out yet.
Yeah. It's not out. Okay. When does the book come out?
Well, the book will be out later this year. I don't have a release date as of yet. Right now, I'm in phase 1 of the campaign, Real Men Raise Champions campaign. Every champion needs a coach.
Right.
And, I had a fundraiser, a crowdfunding campaign through booster.com, where I was actually, actually putting T-shirts out there with the logo on it, the wording, Real Men Raise Champions. And on the back, every champion needs a coach. And the reason I did that is because I'm trying to really get those responsible fathers to be encouraged in what they're doing with their children,
right?
Because they are raising champions,
right?
And also those fathers who aren't, really aren't involved in their children's lives, and just really trying to send a subtle message to them that you need to get in the game, bro.
Right. I like that part of it, and I want to touch on your inner coach, and I know it stands the COACH stands for something, but I just like the way when you said that, the inner coach. It's like coach. It's like, okay, the person I look up to, coach, the person that guides me, coach. So when I hear the word inner coach, I know those letters stand for something. What are you trying to express when we talk about the inner coach?
Well, I was an athlete in high school and also in college, and coaches, they had a major influence on my life.
Right.
I'm someone who grew up without a father, so those coaches, they served as surrogates for me. They were men who were responsible. They had their own families, but at the same time, they were teaching me how to be a better track and field athlete, or a better football running back, or whatever. And, so I feel that fathers, they have, even though you can look at a father as a minister in the home.
Right.
If they are, married. They're supposed to be the head of the household and things like that. But a coach is someone who instructs someone on how to do something.
Right. And
I feel like that's what fathers do.
Right.
That's what we fathers do. We instruct our children how to be successful, how to develop their own platform for success. And, but I do, the acronym does mean something. I mean, the first, if I could run through that right quick.
Sure, absolutely. No, take your time. I want to make sure that everybody hears it and understands it. So not real quick. Take your time doing it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, COACH as coach, and the first C is consider. So consider the factors that would hinder your child's ability to develop a platform for success. So that's consider, that's C. Operate is the O, and so operate is your child's first teacher. And the A is for advocate, and advocate for educational and vocational opportunity, as well as global fairness, justice, and equality for all. C is collaborate, and collaborate with other fathers who support richer, more fulfilling personal and marital relationships. And the H is for honor, so honor your God and your wives.
I love it. I love it.
So that's really what I'm trying to get at.
Right,
I mean, I really in the book that's really what the book is focused on, is really unleashing your inner coach.
And see, I like that you did it that way, because a lot of people like to talk. I mean, including myself. I mean, a lot of people like to talk and like to say, hey, here's how you do it. But for you to break it down for us with the C, the O, the A, the C, and the H helps us. And I think that's what we all need as far as African-American men, is you got to break that down for us. I understand what you're saying, but you got to break it down for me, and you got to tell me exactly what you mean. And that's what I like about that, when you talk about unleashing your inner coach. And I can't wait to read the book. The book is called Real Men Raise Champions, and it should be out, would you say, next month? We should say?
I'll probably give you about 3 or 4 months.
Okay, in 3 months. Okay, the book will be out in 3 or 4 months. And I'm sure that we can get it via Amazon.com. Is some of the things you're working on trying to get the book out?
Yeah, most of our books can be purchased through Amazon.com. I usually use CreateSpace or Kindle Direct Publishing. And I'm thinking about, going through another provider, iUniverse.
Okay.
So really just trying to decide, which platform is going to be best for this book.
Okay, so Real Men Raise Champions. How'd you come up with the title for that book?
Well, again, I mean, it goes back to, really what I'm trying to do with my own child. My child is a straight A student, or he's on the AB honor roll since the third grade, or he's been on the AB honor roll since the third grade.
Great.
And so a lot of people, they'll look at that title and they'll say, well, am I trying to raise a champion athlete or what? But no, it's not a champion athlete. It's all about a champion in life.
Right.
Because a lot of kids, they're not going to grow up becoming an athlete. My son, right now, he's athletic, but he has no interest in sport.
Right.
But he's 11 years old, so he doesn't have a choice in the matter because he's going to be involved in sports. Because at this stage, just because I feel like sports teaches you things about life.
Right, right.
But, I chose this because we, as men, we need to have that attitude that we are preparing our children for something.
Right.
I mean, they have to get into what I call the prosperity zone. And we have an end zone in football, but we have a prosperity zone in life.
Right.
And what that means is that, one, you're in alignment with God's will, but you're also in alignment with your neighbors, the people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And, so you got the horizontal and the vertical that you have to really appeal to in order to get into the prosperity zone. And that's really, what I'm trying to, get fathers to really see is that this is what you have been put on this planet to do.
Right. And I think, go ahead.
To raise kids who actually enter the prosperity zone, because that right there is going to allow them to be successful. That's really what success means.
Right, right. We got to take a commercial break. You're listening to the Dr. Kaye Show on Radio 1240 WCEM AM. We're streaming at mtslive.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Welcome back to the Dr. Kaye Show. I'm Troy Hill, filling in for Dr. Kaye on Radio 1240 WCEM AM. We're streaming at mtslive.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, and also don't forget to go to the Dr. Kaye Facebook page and like her Facebook, and also don't forget to write something on her wall. Wish her a speedy recovery, and also don't forget to tell her on her Facebook that I'm doing a wonderful job too, okay? Don't forget to put that in there. My guest today is Jeff Faulkerson, and of course he's the author of the book Real Men Raise Champions. And I love this part, unleashing your inner coach. I can't tell you, it's like one of those, Oprah calls them aha moments. It's like one of those aha moments when I hear inner coach. I like that. In about 3 months, the book will be out. Talk to me, Jeff, what is it that makes a person write a book? I mean, because first of all, you get the first line down and you go, I don't like that, and you put it away. How long did it take you to do this? Did you write a couple of lines, then come back to the book, or did you just sit down at the computer one day and just bang the book out?
Well, you know what? I mean, it all starts with your passions. I mean, what are you most passionate about? And, I'm someone who was raised by a single parent, as I told you before. Mm-hmm. And so I've always, I've also done work with, kids that are like me as a trio upward bound director up in Massachusetts. And I saw a lot of kids who, were growing up in homes that were headed by their mothers. Fathers were nowhere to be found, seen. And, and then, you look at statistics that show that, 24 million children are growing up in homes without their fathers.
Right.
And that's 30%, and that right there, it's 1 in 3 at 30%.
Right.
And that right there, really, just causes you to really, I guess, look inside yourself.
Right.
And then really want to pull something out of yourself that you can share, because I'm committed to being in my wife's life and also my child's life. But that's something that my father was not willing to do.
Right.
And there's a lot of reasons for that, because my mom and dad, they couldn't get along with each other. So why in the world should you stick around?
Right,
If you can't get along, well, why stay together?
Right.
So they decided to separate and divorce. But that left, I was 4 years old at the time. So I had a lot of childhood that I had to go through, 14 years that I had to go through without my father being there. Mm-hmm. Now, even though we had a relationship and I was able to see him, occasionally, I mean, those visits were very infrequent.
Right, right.
So, in terms of writing a book, though, I mean, you draw from your experiences.
Right.
And that's what I'm accomplishing, with this book, is just really sharing my experience as someone who didn't have a father in his life to someone who evolved into a person that is involved in his child's life.
Was it tough trying to explain that in the book with examples from your own personal life? Did it bring back feelings? Did you have to walk away? Were there things that made you a little angry as you were writing and go, I don't really know if I should write about that?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing you worry about is, like, you don't want to offend your parents, when you're sharing, your feelings about how you felt about your father at the time. You don't want to put him out there or anything like that. But at the same time, it's like, that what you share is really going to minister to someone else's heart.
Right.
So, I love my father. I don't think I don't.
Right.
But I love him, and I appreciate all the things because he's given me plenty of advice. Even when I was, even when he wasn't in the home, he's given me plenty of advice to, be successful and things like that. He just wasn't there.
Right.
And I had to rely on other men to really fill that void.
Right. Right.
And that's really what I talk about. So, me sharing what these other men did to help me become a real man. If that offends you, then that's a problem. But just know that there was something that you weren't doing right.
Right.
That someone had to step in and make it right.
Well, I think it's a healing process, not only for you to write about, the steps that you took to become a man, but it's also a healing. I mean, I think if my son wrote a book today and expressed how, his life was, I'm sure that not everything would be fantastic about me. But I would take that as a healing, okay, maybe I need to apologize for this, or maybe I need to do something to mend the fences here. But I don't think I would look at that book as being outing me. I think I'd look at it more like saying, okay, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. Maybe we can communicate a little better now that I understand where you're coming from.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about, you do motivational speeches.
Yeah, I do. I mean, most of the speaking I've done has been during workshops. I'm a certified active parenting educator. And so I've done, that's what I mostly do. And I have spoken to youth groups and things like that in the past. So, those are the kind of things that I do. And those are the kind of things that I enjoy.
Right.
Because speaking also gives me a platform to really share my experiences about, just building my own platform for success.
Right. Now, when you're doing your workshop and you're also doing your public speaking, what are some of the questions that after you're done people come up to you and say? What are some of the questions they're saying to you, or asking you, I should say?
Well, most of the people that attend my workshops, my parent education workshops, are mostly women. And most of them are single women.
Right.
And so a lot of them are dealing with kids who are unruly, and they don't know how to. They don't know how to gain control. So a lot of the questions just deal with how should I treat this behavior. If it's a younger child, they say, well, should I spank my child?
Right.
And my answer to that is no. I mean, you just got to be patient.
Right.
Patient with your child, because there are other things you can do besides spanking your child. You can also, give them consequences.
Right.
Those logical consequences and natural consequences. Natural consequences are things that just happen naturally. You don't have to do anything as a parent. But those logical consequences are things that you and that child decide on will happen.
Right.
So spank or not spank, that's a question.
Right.
And then when you talk about an older child, it's like, it's dealing with a child who may be cutting up in class or whatever. It's still, you still got to employ natural and logical consequences, but that child is much older. So you're not going to spank that child.
Right.
I mean, spanking is not going to, really impact the 15, 16-year-old.
Right.
And what you have to do is you got to be able to talk to that child.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And be careful, parents, if they are like class clowns in the in junior high school. Be careful, okay? Because they could be great radio announcers somewhere down the line.
That's good stuff. Good stuff.
They make wonderful radio announcers down the line. Okay, the yearbook proves it. Okay.
Good segue. Good segue. Great segue.
Now, you were with a group called Active Parenting. Talk to me about that organization, and also talk to me about the handbook that is available.
Okay, well, Active Parenting Publishers Incorporated, I first heard of them. I was working for a school system in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and I got wind of this parent education. Well, I got wind that you could actually get certified as a parent educator. So I kind of, I went through the certification training as I was working as a school employee, but then I got to a point later on, many years later, where I said, when I became a stay-at-home parent, and this was back in 2007, and I said, I want to do something where I could actually help parents improve or become better parents. And so I, took my savings, and I said, well, I'm gonna go through this training. So I took my savings and attended a training in Winston-Salem. Because at the time I lived in Raleigh, North Carolina, so I made that drive all the way to Winston.
Right.
And and actually it was a day-long training and got certified.
Right.
And the reason I did that is because, like I said, I wanted to help parents become better parents. Right. But I also was a new parent myself. I wanted to use these skills that I learned to be a better parent to my own child.
Right.
So, but it's like being a Christian. God wants us to take the gospel beyond the four walls of the church.
Right.
So after I went through the training, I said, well, I got to take these lessons that I learned beyond the four walls of my home.
Right.
And share my insights and share what Dr. Popkin wants us to share with other parents.
Right.
So that's how I got involved with active parenting now. And active parenting now is for children between the ages of 5 and 12.
Right.
Then you have active parenting of teens, which is for parents of children between the ages of 12 and 18.
Okay. Now, we got to go to a commercial break. When we come back in just a bit, we're going to talk about their handbook. Stay with us. You're listening to the Dr. Kaye Show on Radio 1240 WCEM AM. We're streaming at mtslive.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Welcome back to the program. You're listening to the Dr. Kaye Show on Radio 1240 WCEM AM. I'm Troy Hill filling in for Dr. Kaye, and we wish her a speedy recovery. Hey, don't forget, we're streaming at mtslive.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. And also, don't forget to go to the Dr. Kaye Facebook page and make sure you like her Facebook page, and also wish her a speedy recovery. Our guest today is Jeffrey A. Faulkerson, and he's the author of the book Real Men Raise Champions. It's going to be out in about 3 months. Coming up a little later on in the show, we're going to talk about how you can get a copy of the book when it comes out. We left off by talking about Active Parenting Now. They have a handbook. What are we going to find in the handbook? And also part 2 to that question is, what did you find fascinating in that handbook?
Well, you know what? The handbook, they're called parent guides. And it's a handbook that goes right along with the curriculum, because the curriculum is a video-based curriculum. So you have videos, you have PowerPoint presentations, and you also have each parent gets a book, a parent's guide. That pretty much is just the whole curriculum put into a book form. So, you'll get, they talk about the think, feel, do cycle, how, the Bible, they talk about taking every thought captive.
Right.
Well, in this book, they have Dr. Popkin, he really, he lays out this think, feel, do cycle. And that right there is really the catalyst for a lot of the behavior. Because if a child grows up and, has a negative experience, they're going to feel a certain way. Right. And that's going to cause them to behave either in a negative way or a positive way. Right. It just really depends on what it is. But, if we're talking about the Active Parenting of Teens Parents Guide, and you're talking about teenagers, you're going to get topics like courage and self-esteem. Right. Team behavior and problem solving, responsibility and discipline, cooperation and communication, and just really families coming together. Because when you're dealing with an older child, family has to be united. The parents have to be a united front, right. And their whole purpose should be to bring the child together and have a conversation with them. Right, right. And get him or her to the point where they actually adopt the values that the family holds dear. Right. Like success. Right. Success may be one of those values. But if you're hanging out with a bunch of knuckleheads at school, and these knuckleheads are leading you astray, right? And you get most of your, attention, most of your, you feel good about yourself just because of what your friends tell you, as opposed to what your parents tell you. Then sometimes those friends may lead you astray. Right. So that's really what the parents' guide for the teenagers is all about. Is just really, allowing it, getting that child to the point where they can actually trust their parents and know that their parents have their best interests at heart.
Right. I mean, you're using words that I haven't used in quite some time. I have to chuckle when I hear the word knucklehead, because
hey, I'm from the old school.
Because
back in the day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I haven't heard that one used in quite some time, and it brought back memories. Leave those little knuckleheads alone and get over here. Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
So,
and I tell my son, I said, because my son used to come home and talk about, the kids calling him a nerd. I told my son, I said, they may be calling you a nerd today, but they'll be calling you boss tomorrow.
Yeah, I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it. But see, that's the part that we need to hear. See, what you just said, because as a parent, not reading these handbooks and not staying at home with the kids and hearing these things, oh, well, you go back and you tell him so-and-so and so-and-so. But with you're saying, okay, that's cool. Let them call you a nerd. But 10 years from now, they'll be calling you boss. See, that's the answer. That's the answer. That's what we need to hear as parents as we're raising kids, and not, well, you go back and you tell them so-and-so and so-and-so, which, really kids shouldn't be saying.
Well, it's kind of like you take control of the word. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people, I know a lot of rappers, they sit back and say that they took control of the N-word. Mm-hmm. But that's a bunch of bull.
Right.
Excuse me, right. That's not true.
Right.
It's not true. The N-word, that's a negative word, but if someone calls you a nerd,
right,
or a geek,
right,
you can take control of that.
Right.
And that's what I try to do, is it's really painting a picture in my son's mind,
right,
that he can use, and that's going to empower him to really give his best at everything he does.
I love it.
And he does it.
Right.
He responds.
Right, and I think that's the key point, is giving him that inspiration that he needs to say, okay, yeah, it's cool to be a nerd, because 10 years from now, in my mind, they're going to be calling me boss, so let them call me a nerd.
That's right.
So I like that. But see, Jeffrey, that's the inner coach in you that we don't have. That's why we have to go and visit you from time to time and hear some of your speaking events and sign up for your workshop, because, see, those are things that we know, but we need that type of coaching. So that's why I like it when you say inner coach. I just like that word. Once again, the name of the book is called Real Men Raise Champions. Now, you had a T-shirt campaign, and I really like these T-shirts. How do I get one of these?
Well, the first campaign, or the crowdfunding campaign that I had going through booster.com, it ended on February 21st.
Oh, no!
So this past Saturday.
Oh, no!
So, but I'm going to relaunch that.
Okay.
And I'm going to relaunch it with a different shirt. It's going to probably, the first campaign was with a long sleeve shirt.
Right.
Carolina blue.
Okay.
And the second shirt is going to probably be short sleeve.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to go white or Carolina blue, but it'll have the Real Men Raise Champion logo on it.
Right.
And every champion needs a coach on the back. And people can go to booster.com /Real Men Raise Champions. They can actually see that long sleeve shirt.
Right.
But they'll see a note that says this campaign is closed. And this first wave wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be.
Right.
But I'm hoping that as more people learn about the campaign and learn what I'm trying to do with these shirts, because when you wear this shirt, it's like you are a walking billboard for father involvement.
Right.
And that's really what I want parents to realize. Sure, you're helping me raise funds to promote a book.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like you also are walking around amongst your peers, and they're actually seeing what you really believe.
With a
message. You believe
that
father involvement is important, and you also understand that when we are working with our children, we're trying to raise champions.
Right.
Kids who actually attack life, to the fullest, and they want to be successful. And they don't want to do things they want to be good citizens. That's what it's about.
Right.
But good citizenship is all about, being able to take care of yourself and those around you.
Right.
And that's what success is being selfless. as opposed to selfish.
If you just tuned in, you're listening to the Dr. Kaye Show on Radio 1240 WCEM AM. We're streaming at mtslive.com. Like us on Facebook. Our guest today is Jeffrey A. Faulkerson, and he is the author of the book called Real Men Raise Champions. And I like this part, Unleashing Your Inner Coach. Jeffrey, how much involvement with your motivational speeches, your speaking engagement, the book, how much involvement does your son play in this? Did you read parts of the book to him and go, what do you think of that? Or did you it was just you on your own putting this together?
Well, I don't want to share too much with my boy because I'm trying to raise him.
Okay.
Because he doesn't need to know all my secrets.
Right. Okay.
I also got to be a disciplinarian,
right,
as well. Because if he knows that, he knows that I'm trying to raise a champion. He knows that.
Right.
I have a T-shirt that I wear that he sees every day.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows he's that champion. That's one of the things about wearing these shirts is that that the children, when they see it, they automatically know that you're referring to them.
Absolutely.
They're the champion.
Right, right.
So that's, I guess, the empowering thing about the shirt is that when the kids see it, they know what you all about.
Right, right.
You wear it proudly. So, but I don't share too much with my son. It's just all about, memories that I've had, with him. I share a few anecdotes about, things that, he and I used to do. I wrote a column or a blog post called Real Men Change Diapers, and that was when he was real young. And
right.
I just talked about, just growing up in a single-parent household and just being able to spend time with my son as a stay-at-home parent who was really just struggling with that whole idea of not having a job.
Right, right.
That right there was the toughest part for me when he was first born. It's like, dang, here I am, I'm not working anymore.
Right, right.
I'm home day in and day out.
Right.
And that's kind of weird.
Right.
I'm used to, getting up in the morning and getting in the car and going to work and having responsibility and all that stuff. And
right.
Now I got to find what is my purpose.
Right. Right.
What is my purpose now?
Right. Yeah. And I guess, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
My purpose now is to, make sure that my son, crosses the finish line.
Right. I was going to say, you look back on that because I feel you. You look back on that and then you realize that, oh, wait a minute. My purpose is raising this child. My purpose of getting up in the morning is to take care and raise this child. That is my purpose right now, and that is my job right now, is doing that. The name of the book is called Real Men Raise Champions. Once again, I want to touch on this. Do we have? Yeah, we do. We have enough time. Coach, the inner coach. Let's talk about what those letters stand for.
Well, again, as a coach, COACH, and the C is for consider. So consider the factors that could hinder your child's ability to develop a platform for success. The O is for operate. So operate as your child's first teacher. The A is for advocate. Advocate for an educational and vocational opportunity as well as global fairness, justice, and equality for all. The C is for collaborate. So collaborate with other fathers to support richer, more fulfilling personal and marital relationships. Mm-hmm. And the H is for honor. So honor your God and your wives. And I say wives, but, it should be, your child's mother.
Right, right.
So if you're not in a marital relationship.
Right, right. When you were growing up, was it just you as a single child, or did you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have a brother who was 2 years younger than me,
mm-hmm.
and I have a sister who is 6 years younger than me.
Wow, so you were the big brother of the bunch.
Yeah, yes, I was.
Yeah, you were the big brother. So did you find yourself as a child raising brothers and sisters too, or is this if they took care of themselves?
Well, you know what? I think as the oldest child, you try to be the man of the household,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And all that stuff, but you get rejected by your siblings.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, oh, yeah.
It wasn't, they would listen, and we all turned out to be successful, and, we had our share of mistakes, all three of us, but at the same time, we all knew that, we wanted to go to college, my brother and I especially, mm-hmm. And we all, and I think sport, that's really why, I'm really on this coach thing, is because sport really played a pivotal role in helping me see beyond the boundaries of Never Land,
right?
If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
getting out of Kingsport, Tennessee.
Welcome back to the Dr. Kaye Show on Radio 1240 WCEM AM. We're streaming at mtslive.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Also, don't forget to go to the Dr. Kaye Facebook page and make sure you like Dr. Kaye's Facebook page, and also make sure you wish her a speedy recovery. Usually Shane Walker is doing the honors of filling in for the Dr. Kaye Show, but Shane's on vacation. At least we think he's on vacation. I think he's trying out for the quarterback for Dallas Cowboys. Okay, that's what I think. But anyway, hopefully he'll be back next week off vacation. So if Dr. Kaye isn't back, then Shane Walker will be doing the honors for that, and I'll be somewhere in my office drinking coffee. Anyway, on our show today, we got Jeffrey A. Faulkerson. Jeffrey wrote the book. He's the author of the book called Real Men Raise Champions. Now, before we get to that book and how you can get a copy of that book, all right, Jeffrey, let's talk man-to-man here. Football team, favorite football team.
Yeah, I've always been a Washington Redskins fan.
Oh, my goodness.
And I hate the fact that I live in Texas.
See, I just knew you were going to say Dallas Cowboys. I just knew you were going to say Dallas Cowboys.
That would be nice.
That would be
for all those Dallas fans.
I know, but all my friends are Redskins fan, and I'm just like the only Cowboy fan out on. But I thought you had my back on that.
So you guys up there in Maryland, aren't you?
Yes, we are. So we're in Maryland. Yeah. So everybody likes the Redskins around in this. Oh, Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm still a Dallas Cowboy fan. Been a Dallas Cowboy fan for years. Okay.
Well, I've been a Redskins fan since John Riggins and Doug Williams and all those guys.
Okay, so it's in your blood. All right, I'll let you slide with that one. All right, basketball team. Favorite basketball team?
Los Angeles Lakers.
All right. There we go. Okay. All right. We'll stop there. We got a match. We'll stop there. The name of the book is called Real Men Raise Champions. Talk to me, Jeffrey. The book should be coming out in about 3 months. How can we get a copy of the book, and where should we be keeping our eye out looking for the book online?
Well, this book, to learn to receive the most updated information about the release of the book is going to be on my blog. /website, which is Real Men Raise Champions .wordpress.com.
Okay.
So that's where they can go to get updated information about the release of the book.
Okay.
To know when it's going to be available. But on that blog, I also have regular blog entries. So I'd encourage them to just follow my blog.
Okay.
Because I do write on fatherhood issues.
Right.
And a lot of the content is just dealing with real-time stuff.
Right.
Things, I share things in my own life that I may be going through with my son. Like it could be something as simple as, my son's teacher gave him a bad grade, and I didn't approve, or the teacher disciplined my child, and I didn't approve of the way the teacher disciplined him.
Right.
Or it could be my son's not cleaning up his room. What do I do?
Right.
Stuff like that. And what I try to do is I share, what my approach to that problem is. And by me sharing, it may give them as parents, it may give them inspiration to, do what they need to do. It's not me telling them what to do. It's just they get a chance to look into my own life.
And I like that. I like it's like my little daily magazine, as I call it, or my little daily newspaper, as I can go on that blog and read about what you're saying, which will inspire me and also give me other tools to use to help me raise my child. Because let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, when a child comes into the world, there's not a handbook out there that says this is how you properly do that.
Nope.
And that's the sad part about it. But we need, I'm still a believer that it takes a village to raise a child. And when I say that, I mean we got to use all types of things. Get into today's technology. We've got the internet. We've got blogging. We got Instagram. We got Facebook. All this stuff is available to us. We even got books like Real Men Raise Champions. We got these tools, and we have to use it because that is the new village that is helping us raise our children today.
No doubt.
Before we close the show, I've got to touch on this one more time. The book is called Real Men Raise Champions, Unleashing Your Inner Coach. I love that phrase. You know, I'm going to use that. And maybe you should do a T-shirt with that. Unleashing your inner coach. Because I love that. Because when I see the word coach, I think of someone you look up to. I think of a leader. I think of someone giving me direction, you know, because that's what I think of when I think of coach. But let's talk about the C-O-A-C-H. Talk to me.
All right. C is for consider. Consider the factors that could hinder your child's ability to develop a platform for success.
Mm-hmm.
O is operate as your child's first teacher. Then you got to advocate for educational and vocational opportunity as well as global fairness, justice, and equality for all. Collaborate with other fathers to support richer, more fulfilling personal and marital relationships. And H, honor your God and your wives or your children's mother.
I love it. I love it. I just love that. Inner Coach is what it's called. Once again, the name of the book is called Real Men Raise Champions. In about 3 months, the book should be out. Make sure you keep an eye on the blog. Let's talk about the address for the blog. Give that to us one more time.
Okay, that address is realmenraisechampions www.realmenraisechampions.wordpress.com.
Okay.
So that's the website.
That's the website. And we can find out when the book is going to be out and keep track of that. And also, we can find out, because I like these T-shirts. I'm looking at one of these T-shirts, which is called Real Men Raise Champions, the T-shirt. And hopefully you'll launch a new set of T-shirts right there, Jeffrey, huh?
Oh, yeah. I will be relaunching another campaign, and the campaign is going to be for short-sleeve T-shirts because we are going to be entering the spring and summer months. So just want to make sure that people are able to wear their Real Men Raise Champion shirts proudly and without breaking out in a hot sweat.
Yeah, there you go. The name of the book is called Real Men Raise Champions, Unleashing Your Inner Coach. Jeffrey A. Faulkerson, thank you so much for being a part of the show today.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for the invitation.
You're listening to the Dr. K Show on Radio 1240 WCEM AM. We're streaming at mtslive.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Have a great day.